Hello traders, this is Jim Comiskey. Welcome to Comiskey's Corner. It is currently Tuesday, October the 11th. Give us some color on the metals complex amongst other things. First of all, let me get this out of the way. The opinions that I'm about to express are mine and mine alone, and they're not necessarily shared by MF Global. Okay. First of all, apologize, I was off yesterday. Just kind of went up to a beautiful little resort town, northwest Illinois, Galena. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Anyways, the gold is currently down $8.70 to $1662.10. Silver up just 3 cents to 32.01. Copper down 7.5, 329.45. The greenback up 4 to 77.87. European currency up 6 to 136.59. Okay, the rants. First of all, Bridget Brown, the heat miser. No one voted. Do we want to replace this guy with her as the mascot here? Let me know. Okay. By the way, I'll get to some of your comments here. Some great comments, guys. I really appreciate the support. I know I kind of walked in a big pile of you-know-what last Thursday, and I really appreciated the support you voiced on Friday and over the weekend. That was awesome. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Deal? Okay. First of all, the zero hedge, I meant to start here. Okay, here. Phoenix Capital Research. I like this guy. I kind of like him a lot. His name, Graham Summers. Okay, shout out to Graham Summers, Phoenix Capital Research. Posted on Zero Hedge. Very good story. I'll just read it to you and throw in my bits and pieces as well. Okay. The Graham is basically outlining why we're approaching a Lehman Brothers moment. And for those of you that have been following me and stuff, you know I've been hitting these points on the head for the past how many weeks, whatever. By the way, this whole little vote about, or this whole little, market fixation over Slovakia, voting on whether to approve the ETSF. You know what the European bailout fund, if you will. All that is the Slovakian parliament. There's like any human endeavor, there's always 2 or 3 or 4 leaders. Okay, these guys have been brought into a back room and promised everything by the EC. Okay, on a personal level. This stuff dates back to King John, for God's sakes. Okay, so what they're doing is they are going to put pen to paper and commit the Slovakian citizenry to bail out the Greeks. Okay, but this is just a formal matter. So your average Joe Schmoe sitting in a pub drinking whatever in Slovakia has no clue what's going on. The market fixates on this because it's going to undo this thing? Not a chance. There's no way. Of course they're going to approve the ETSF. All right, here. Sorry about that. We're fast approaching the Lehman Brothers event for 2011. Okay, this is the crisis to which 2008 was just the warm-up. Okay, instead of a bank going under, it's going to be Greece's sovereign debt. Couldn't agree more. Okay, consider the Belgian bank Dexia, which just went under last week. It had only 5.4 billion euros exposure to Greek debt. Okay, 5.4. Now, the French, German, UK, and US exposure to Greece alone, okay, is north of 165 billion. Okay, that's dollars now. Okay, and those same countries have 2.6 trillion in pigs exposure as well. Okay, so just a little north, 165 billion Greece, the French, German, US, and UK. Okay, now that's just Greece. Okay, Portugal, Italy, Spain and Ireland, 2.6 trillion. Okay, again, the upcoming meltdown, and I totally, in my humble opinion, it's going to be coming. It's going to be coming sometime soon. Even Bridget thinks so, whether she knows it or not. This is a reason to basically to stack. Okay, buy and hold, gold, silver. Okay, if you're trading futures, please use tight stops. If you're trading ETFs, just monitor your position closely. They can't blow you out. Okay. Okay. In 2008. Basically, the issue in 2008, the blow up of Bear Stearns, the blow up of Lehman Brothers, that was caused by toxic debt on private bank balance sheets. Okay, today, thanks to the Fed and other central banks' moves, these toxic debts, have moved onto the public's balance sheet. Graham, thank you. I've been saying this for weeks and weeks and weeks. Okay, so some of you out there might be like, okay, well, if everything's going to blow up, what do I do? Well, yes, like I say, stack up the PMs, okay, the precious metals, okay, or as Graham suggests, and it's righteous, whether it's by moving to cash, yes, the U.S. dollar will retain its value, okay, just in terms of it being the fiat currency of choice by the world, okay. Now, is it going to retain the value it has now? No. Okay, that's why you want to buy bullion. And Graham goes on to say, moving to cash and bullion, okay, opening some shorts, in other words, get short some stocks, buy some puts, whatever, or simply get out of the markets altogether. Now is the time to be preparing for what's coming, and that was when the Feds, well, remember, stocks took 6 months to bottom after Lehman, and that was when the Fed still had some bullets left to combat the collapse, absolutely. In fact, I believe it was Jesse Livermore first coined the term. Jesse Livermore, very famous trader. If you're not familiar with that name, Google him. The man is legendary. Coined the term "cash is king" back in the late 20s, early 1930s, despite Donald Trump trying to claim ownership to the phrase. Okay, where to go next? Oh, okay. Here, this is Tyler Durden. Shout out to Ty. Okay, Congressional Research Service finds that U.S. exposure to Europe, okay, at $640 billion. Okay, so now we've got different numbers here. Okay, but the $2.6 trillion was combining the French, German, UK, and U.S. exposure to the pigs. Okay, now basically, Congressional Research Service, all right, which is a widely respected research service out of Virginia, I believe. They find U.S. exposure to Europe at $640 billion and could be considerably higher. Now, just in the interest of time, I'm not going to read this all to you, but it's quite a large number. Okay, and if you remember, both Geithner and Bernanke were downplaying U.S. exposure to Europe. Truth is, they didn't know, they didn't look into it, and all they were trying to do is reassure whoever they were talking to. Okay, it isn't a lie if you say our exposure is minimal. After all, $640 billion is minimal if you're thinking $6.5 trillion, right? So it's their job to belittle, to downplay potential crises, right? Lehman Brothers moment. Okay, here, this is priceless. Okay, I got to read this one to you. This is Obama's Jobs Council. First of all, it's stacked with Democratic donors. Okay, surprise there. But this is from the Chicago Tribune. Okay, today's Chicago Trib. Okay, Obama's job creation team includes job cutters. In another public demonstration of concern about the economy, President Obama will meet in Pittsburgh on Tuesday, blah, 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 blah. Okay, to announce his job creation council. All right, now the members of the council, okay, 3 of them in particular. First of all, he's appointing 26, okay, 3 in particular, okay, American Express CEO, Comcast CEO, Intel CEO. All right, when Obama created this council, he said his members would assist him in doing everything he can to spur hiring and ensure our nation can compete with anybody on the planet. Just days before, Ken Schmoe, CEO of American Express, was appointed to the council, the company announced that it was going to close a facility in North Carolina and cut 550 jobs, 1% of the workforce. Okay. At the same time, Amex said that it made $1.1 billion in fourth quarter profit, or it made total $1.1 billion in the fourth quarter of 10, up 48%. Okay, and they just cut 550 jobs. Xerox, whose CEO, Ursula Burns, sits on the board, cut 4,500 jobs in the first 6 months of 2011. Jim McInerney, CEO of Boeing, shrank the California operations because of the end of the space shuttle program, and we know who ended that, and defense cuts. Boeing said it was cutting 1,100 U.S. jobs and is in fact going to be cutting more undefined, they haven't covered the amount yet. Okay. At the same time, Boeing reported a 20% profit gain in 2011 second quarter. So like a lot of things that the Obama administration is rolling out and announcing and doing are basically the campaign has started. Okay. It rings very hollow, and I think what it does is it insults the intelligence of a lot of people that aren't like following, closely, reading between the lines. Like Santelli taught me years ago. Oh, here's a good one. Diane Sawyer, ABC anchor. First of all, I'm going to back up really quick. Okay, A gentleman had in fact called me and asked me, you know, we can read the news. We can read our own headlines and stuff. I'm like, you know, that's totally cool. That's fine. Okay, I realize you can't. Okay, but what I would offer you here is that, you know, I've been doing this a little north of 25 years now, loving a little bit of it anyway. And there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of overload out there. Basically, the stuff that I'm reading to you, okay, in my humble opinion, is what the market's pretty much focused on. If you're trading metals, okay, you have to focus on not only technicals, okay, but geopolitical events. Okay, therefore, I read you what I view and what I, in my humble opinion, think the market is viewing and seizing on as a legitimate geopolitical change in trend or trend bolstering event. Okay, so here goes. Diane Sawyer, this is awesome. So now I'm not going to be talking about the Occupy Wall Street movement or anything. Okay, I'm reading this. This is not my opinion. So enthused about promoting the far left protests, don't get mad at me. ABC anchor Diane Sawyer on Monday night's World News championed the Occupy Wall Street movement by ludicrously claiming that as of tonight it has spread to more than 250 American cities, more than 1,000 countries, every continent but Antarctica. Okay, well, Diane, there's 195 countries in the world. Okay, so how it's spread to thousands of them, more than 1,000 of them, is a bit mystifying. Okay, protests against the wealthy in thousands of countries, including Cuba, China, and every country in Africa. I don't know. You would think that someone, you know, as intelligent as Diane Sawyer, or on such a widely, hugely financed network like ABC would do a little Google work before getting on air and saying something like that. Okay, and again, I'm just reading this now. This is courtesy of Fox News, anti-Wall Street protesters. You'll see my point when I'm done. Okay. Occupy Wall Street, oh, right, okay. I'm just going to go to the middle of this now. Democrats were trying, well, Rendell's comments. He's a former Pennsylvania governor. He basically says to Wall Street protesters, you've made your point, now get on with your lives. I didn't say that, he did. Okay, but I want to read this because there's a point here. Rendell's comments stood in stark contrast to other Democrats who are trying to co-opt the movement known as Occupy Wall Street for political gain in next year's election. Okay. President Obama has President Obama has expressed sympathy for the protests, and House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi, the Marie Antoinette of Washington, D.C., has said that she supports the movement's message. Okay, here's a quote from Nancy. I support the message to the establishment, whether it's Wall Street or the political establishment and the rest. That change has to happen. We cannot continue in the way that it does not. That's not relevant to our lives. People are angry. Nancy Marie Antoinette Pelosi says. Okay, now you know what amazes me about politicians is how they pretend they're not politicians. I mean, these people are like chameleons or something. But so Pelosi's behind these guys. Perhaps she's looking for the left's version of the Tea Party to bail her out. Because, again, I'm going to say it, in my humble opinion, come 2012, there's going to be another earthquake going through the East Coast, and it's going to go right through Washington, D.C. Okay? We shall see. Anyways, I got so many comments here. It's awesome. There's 53 or something, and I appreciate your support. I can't read them all, obviously, but let me. No need to apologize seems to be the theme. Okay, and I appreciate that hugely. All right, here, I'm going to read this one. Mark Reginald. It's not that the media doesn't like Ron Paul. It's what they were told to do by the powers that be. It's all about keeping power and control. Absolutely. George Soros would have it no other way. I appreciate the man with integrity. Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, again, I should have. Debt forgiveness for all. Hang on. Let me max out a couple of gold MasterCards first. Super Don't Tread on Me. Nice, nice. Metal tanking now. Cheers, Jim. If metal's tanking now, do not jump, get on the window ledge, okay? Use stops or dollar cost average and decide, make your position bigger. Okay, I say this, I want, don't be putting 100% of your money into anything, okay, as a diversification tool, okay? Whatever you're comfortable with, keep stacking. List of demands. No, I'm not going to go there again. I'll just get yelled at, okay? And I will continue to voice my opinion, as humble as it may be. And no, they're not going to crack me. Don't worry about it. I'm just trying to help you guys as much as possible, and in doing so, perhaps get a little business out of it. You know, you could call me. A gentleman here says, I finally found my broker. You could call me and start working with me. A lot of people have, and you know, that's awesome. All right, but in the meantime, if you're not trading futures, you know, just keep commenting. I love a two-way flow. I love to know what people are thinking outside this building. That is the Board of Trade. And no, we're not the 1%. Okay, some of us might be, most of us aren't. If you'd like to email me, fine. My email address is just the letter J, COMISKEY @mfglobal.com, or give me a phone call. My number 888-800-5373. Look forward to hearing from you. Always remember, please, trading commodities is inherently risky and not suitable for all investors. Thanks.